Right back to get you on the right side, not the wrong side. It's the Boss and the Sauce Show. And we got my man Wham OG rolling with us today. And we're going over the Mid-American Conference College Football Preview 2019 right now. Kent State Golden Flashes. Another team, I don't know nobody who's a fan of this team, but let's get right into it on the Boss and the Sauce Show right here, MAC Conference. We made it over to Kent State. Now, Kent State has a second-year coach, Sean Lewis. He must show and improve this year from last year's record, despite the school's 3-win maximum that they've been having over the last five years. Coach Lewis may achieve going one step above that, returning 9 on offense, 6 on defense. The offense will be headed by the junior quarterback returner, Woody Barrett, with the cast of returning underperformers from last year. But the 3 returning seniors on defense may be able to close the gap just a little bit inside of the conference with some of the rivals because they've been there for a while and they might just want to play a little better than the 467.3 yards that they averaged giving up total last year on defense. So the defense floodgate is wide open with this team. The offense don't really know which way to go, but they got some nice leadership in there, and they're going to be headed by the young quarterback. And also, the schedule that Kent State draws this year will definitely knock the P right out of hope, and the Golden Flashes will continue to underachieve this year. Big Wham over there. What you got to say about this Kent State team?
Well, I'm saying the same thing you saying, man. It's biting them right in the butt. They open up with Arizona State right there. You already know how I feel about certain Pac-12 teams. I'm not even going to go into Arizona State. We'll talk about that one later. But they going to get smashed up on that game. And then they go back to Kennesaw State. They may be able to win that game, but who knows? Kent State, they haven't had a winning MAC season since 2012. I have no faith in them. They have no real good, trajectory here on forward as far as what they're bringing back. And as far as anything else, their last year were 2-10, like you said. And they haven't had a winning season since 2012. I mean, do you really believe that they're going to break any of those records that's been held up since the last 8 years? I don't think so.
Yeah, BigRagoo, what you got to say about it?
The one thing that jumps off the chart with me with this team right away, if you look at their defensive stats from last year, and I know they have 5 coming back, and they have a little bit of splash of leadership on seniors and juniors and whatnot coming back. But, man, oh, man, they're ranked dead last in yardage in the conference. They're ranked number 10 out of 12 in rushing. They're ranking number 11 out of 12 in scoring against and number 9 in passing. So they need a lot of help. And with that schedule they have, just looking at it, I mean, there's some heavyweight teams coming in to pounce on them. And it could get really ugly for this team really early in the season. And I know a lot of the experts have got this projected at about 4 wins. But just looking at the schedule, I'm thinking maybe they get away with 2 wins, they'll be lucky. So I'm gonna be really one to turn around and say not a whole lot of upside and a whole lot of down. I mean, 1-7 last year in the conference, and I don't see it getting any easier from this year.
I'm right there with you on this team right here. We talked about it a little earlier, I think on the intro of the show, or maybe it was on one of our outtakes. But we talked about it earlier that this conference here kind of has the elite and they have the bad. And this team right here definitely is in the bad bunch right here. And it just don't get no much better. I don't know how much time we're going to spend on a team that went 2-10 last year. So that's all I got to say about it.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Y'all go back and look at what I said. I don't really care too much about Kent State. They have no. I mean, they may shock us. It's been 8 years since they had a winning season in 2012, but they may shock us. But I don't think so, bro. I think BigRagoo and you hit it right on the nail. Like they have all these different players coming back, and you keep bringing back these same players. They've been trashed. Like, why you keep bringing back these same guys? You need to start getting some new people up in there.
Well, here's the other thing. Keep this in mind too. This is the second year for this coach. He, like I say, 2-10 last year. Second year coming back, so they're going to probably give him at least, I would say, 4 years, maybe 5, to kind of get some momentum going. If not, then the revolving door will keep turning at Kent State.
Yeah, well, I gave him the benefit of the doubt with so many players returning on offense and key players at quarterback and wide receiver, running back. So I give him the benefit of the doubt for that. But it's just a bottom tier team in this conference, and it's crazy because some of these bottom tier teams have some of the toughest schedules compared to some of the top tier teams. Here's Kent State. They go to Arizona State. They play at Auburn. They also play at Wisconsin. Not to mention they also have to play Toledo, who is one of the top teams in the conference over here, at Ohio. You know, the only break they really get is Kennesaw State and maybe Akron. And this might be a spot for Akron to get a win. But we can't totally look past this team because, you know, when the bankroll gets dry later in the season and you see that Wednesday night game and you want to try to pump that bankroll up, you know, you got to jump in there and do something. I usually like to take overs in the MAC, especially when you got two teams that just are mediocre, that they usually go over. And then if it's two teams that are high-power offenses, I usually take the under in those in the MAC. But we'll see. Only time will tell right here on the Boss and the Sauce. Y'all ready to get into the next one?
Let's get on to the next one, my man.
Let's do it, man.
Do it.
We're going to get on into the next one. Y'all hang with us. Make sure you subscribe, like, and tell a friend. Boss and the Sauce Show. Let's go.